Hi there, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan here. We're looking at a Mitsubishi Delica Space Gear. This is a four-wheel drive turbo diesel minivan, and we bought it from Japanese auction here. We're going to be sending it over to Tacoma in the USA. Here you can see the engine running. I'll switch that off in a second because diesel engines tend to be a little bit noisy. I think sometimes the microphone picks them up a little bit noisier than they actually are too. This one has 160,000 kilometers. This is a post-purchase inspection video. We're going to check the condition of the car and compare it to the auction inspection sheet. This one here had one major issue on the auction sheet, and it's probably not as bad as I thought that it was. I'll get to that in a second, but for now let's close the hood. Coolant. Oh, this is a Delica thing. Nowadays, you can't check the level of the coolant anymore without like a rolled up piece of paper towel. Here's the issue. This is supposed to be a transparent bottle, and there are markers on the sides for high and low coolant. But you can't see through the bottle anymore. It gets old and opaque. You can open this up and you can look into it, and if you stick your head right into here, then you can peek your eye down there. But with only one eye, you can't see depth perception very well, and you can't see how low the coolant level is. So it might be a little bit off. You also, because it's dark, you can't see the color of the coolant. I'd recommend getting that changed. These are really reliable engines, but you don't want to mess around with a coolant system on a 25-year-old vehicle. Oil, likewise, looks pretty black. The level is okay. Diesel oil naturally gets mega black within like 5 minutes of being in there. It does have what appears to be leaks around the valve cover gasket. That's probably the most common issue with these L400 Delicas. Although I don't know if that's the case, because sometimes people just spill from the filler cap and then it will just seep in around the gasket and look like a leak. Okay, we got a tiny bit of rust over there. Okay, and that's not going to be the only rust on that one. On this one, that was the thing that I was getting to. Oh, and this thing here doesn't go into this thing here because this thing here is broken. It just kind of goes wherever it wants. Okay, quick look at the vehicle. Four-wheel drive, lifted suspension on the four-wheel drive models. This is stock. Well, this suspension is stock, but it is lifted compared to the two-wheel drive ones. It's an automatic four-wheel drive. Has a transfer case. You can do two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or low gear ratio four-wheel drive with a full locking center differential. Here you go for your four-wheel drive nerds. It is not Land Cruiser ability, but it beats the KZH High Aces in my opinion. It seems to be, well, more reliable at getting up this little bit of a hill here than the KZH ones, and maybe not as good as the LH High Aces. Anyways, that is enough of the nerdiness. Let's take a look here at the auction inspection sheet. I'll translate this and then we'll take a look at the condition of it. Just notice this gasket doesn't go all the way to the end. Maybe it's been cut off. Sometimes they curl up like that, and then looks bad, so maybe they snipped that. Okay, 1995 Space Gear Diesel Turbo Exceed 1 four-wheel drive. Okay, this is a low roof model. The high roof model gets an extra 10 centimeters on top, and there is a version with 5 sunroofs that is very cool. The Crystal Light Roof version, not this one. 160,080 kilometers on here. It's an original silver, dual AC for the front and the back. Sales points, auction grade 3, interior B, exterior C. I'd say that's pretty accurate. The interior has some cigarette damage in it. Sales points, total collection box, easy closer door that actually doesn't work very well. What an easy closer door is it sucks itself in to make sure that your kid, who isn't strong enough to close the sliding door, has a door that's completely closed, because falling out of a car sucks. I know, because I did it when I was like 5. I fell out of a Trans Am that my mom was borrowing. Had to go to the hospital for stitches in my head. Easy closer door, bumper guard, that's the original one, and then the rear under bar. Okay, the report here says, windshield rock chip, that's nothing to worry about. Interior scratched, cigarette burn, and dirty. There's like 10 cigarette burns in this one. In the carpet, the mat, and the door card, not in the seats, thankfully. Steering wheel's peeling. It's actually not that bad in my opinion. Headliner's dirty, and dirty headliners almost always comes from cigarette smoke. This one is kind of the gray dirty, not the yellow dirty, and so it's the better of the two dirtiness from cigarette smokes. Steering wheel, I already said that. Wheels scratched, Dashboard has screw holes in it. Underside surface rust and corrosion holes. Let me get to that. That's the worst part of the car. And then AC doesn't work. And keep in mind that this is the sheet that you go off of when you want to buy a car. So you already know about the surface rust and corrosion before you pick your bid amount. You'll be able to get something like this for less because fewer people are going to want one with a corrosion hole underneath. I say, in my opinion, stay away from corrosion on a Delica if you can help it, but to each their own. Some people are okay doing their own corrosion repairs or want to get one for a really low price for whatever reason. The body on it, you can see a lot of little marks. It's actually not that bad. The roof has quite a few dents, but the roof is also taller than everyone but Giants, and you don't really care if Giants can see your dents because who cares about the opinion of Giants? Just joking. Just joking to all my Giant viewers. Anyways, and various scratches and dents. Let's have a quick look around the outside. I'll show you where the rust is on it after that. Sneaky little idiot who sold this car tried to hide the rust. Or at least somebody before that. I don't know if it was the seller of this. They tried to tape over the rust and paint it black. It's happened a few times where we bought cars where the auction inspector didn't catch it, but thankfully this one did. And in fact, I would have liked it better if the auction inspector said there was a sneaky idiot who's selling this car. And I think people who do that should really get banned from the auction, or at least pay some sort of a punishment. It's not that common. I don't want to say that that's something that you always see. We've been doing this for 15 years, probably around 3,500 vehicles that we've exported. And of those, at least 3,000 that I've seen personally. Well, maybe not that many, maybe 2,800. Anyways, I've seen that myself 3 times. This one is one of those 3 times, and it was caught by the auction. So, good there. It always tends to happen on like Land Cruiser 40s too. So actually, as a rule, we don't sell Land Cruiser 40 anymore unless you're a dealer customer of ours or are well experienced in importing, because they can be trouble. All of them are trouble by now. Anyway, so let's take a look at first the corrosion. The lightest one is down here, and I got an extra video of this. Here you can see putty is used and then painted over. Right there, it is in the frame, not the subframe. And we go back here. This is the worst of it. This area here has been taped up. I don't know the extent of it, but underneath right here, and I'll show you this in a second, there's tape that's wrapped around it, and there's a feelable hole. And feelable, I believe, is a real word, and if it's not, I'm going to coin it. It is a hole you can feel. Let me crawl underneath. The whole underside has been painted black. Here, have a look. And yeah, just as you think, if you touch that in the middle with a strong enough finger, your finger is going to go into the car, and not in a good way. There are also a few things like this bar has been wrapped. The bar on the other side for the side skirt piece, or the side step piece, had cracked and they welded it back on. It's not done very well. And then there's another bit of corrosion underneath here. Kind of it, not in the same area exactly, but if you look up there, you can see it. Okay, in my opinion, not too far gone. It doesn't look too hard to fix. It probably is okay not fixing it, but you don't know until you take that tape off how well the surface underneath has been prepared. And I think there's one more up here. Yeah, right there has a corrosion hole, like an actual hole that wasn't touched up. And here's what I'm talking about with the poor quality welds. These things tend to rust before anything else. So if you ever see one of these sagging, it means the underside is probably corroded as well. Okay, what else do we have? We'll do the exterior now to show the details. This is the original front bumper bar. Okay, lots of approach angle, meaning that you can get up onto rocks if you need to, but it is an independent front suspension. It's not a heavy-duty 4x4, but very capable compared to most minivans. This part here has been repainted black and has faded, and it's missing. It's missing some of the letters on it, the T and the S. Actually, all the letters except for the U. The U is the only letter that's still there. Some of them still have the sticky, like the tape material, so you can still see the letter. Anyway, it's supposed to say Mitsubishi, or on the Chamonix version, it says Chamonix on there. These fog lights are yellow. They have been painted, and the paint has peeled a bit on them. The body on it, generally speaking, pretty good, and there's no rust at all on the body, even including on the top of the roof here or on the back of the roof there. Very prone to rusting in those areas. There's a parking pole giving you easy access to visual identity of the corner of your vehicle. What it means is, maybe I can explain that better. When you're sitting there, it's hard to tell if you're going to hit something over here, because that's opposite of where you're driving. So you can kind of, if you look at where that pole is and go directly down, that's how far your corner is. So really handy to have these. Some Japanese cars have retractable ones. Some of them light up. I don't think this one does. Functional hood scoop for the intercooler. That's cool. These have been painted and the paint has faded off a little bit. Okay, going down here, there are a few scratches, nothing, and a few dents, but nothing really that needs to be pointed out. They're all really minor. The decals are peeling a little bit, but generally better than your average decal. Tires need to be replaced. They have basically no tread on them. This back corner piece has a number of areas that have been touched up with touch-up paint, but the previous owner didn't check the paint color, I guess, or didn't care. Yeah. And this has been repainted black. That's the original back bush bar. Okay. And the tint is peeling there. Top of the spoiler has some peeling on it. And then here you can take a look at the dents if you have a keen eye for them. It looks like it may have had roof racks on it. And the top plastic trim, let me just do that, is also peeling. But again, that is nearly 2 meters tall. More than 2 meters tall. So it's not really in your general vision. These Delicas are just so cool. Compared to the L300, you know, they sold them both at the same time, the L300 Delica and the 400 Delica, so this didn't supersede it. So this one's more like a comfortable cruiser, faster engine, more refined, less vibrations. The L300 is the one that looks like a transformer and is otherwise uncomfortable, but probably better 4x4 because of a shorter wheelbase. Both of them really good vans. We don't have a Delica L300 in the lot right now. We do have a Delica camper over there that's based off the Delica truck, which is different from the Delica van. Usually those are trashy. Delica campers seem to be a hotbed for people who don't care about the world and just want to run away. And that does happen in Japan. It's not only your country. I'm sure there are people like that in your country too. Okay, so worn out section here and 2 cigarette burns in the door card. Okay. Interior needs an extractor and a proper headliner wash. After that, you can... Oh, I said that the seat was okay. I just remembered that the seat is not okay. Yeah. And you know how I said that the Delica campers are kind of like, I don't care type of people? All Delicas attract that kind of a person. People who don't like cleaning up after themselves or each other, I guess, like Delicas. So they are riskier in that respect than basically anything else. Than an Evo 4 or a GC8 or a Soarer or a Chaser. I mean, all of these kind of hit and miss types of cars, but the Delica seems to be a kind of a hotbed for that. Cigarette burns, lots of them. They're all small. Less chance of burning your crotch if it's small. That guy's got reflexes because of experience in dropping cigarettes on the crotch. He knows, like, if I drop that cigarette, he's got like ninja hands. Imagine like the, what's that guy? The Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi. I bet you know, get that cigarette. Cigarette burns in the carpet, in the rug there, and then a few in the carpet here. Okay. Here's the headliner. Maybe a little bit difficult to see in the video, may not be, but yeah, the headliner's noticeably stained. It has sort of like a texture look to it that you only really get from smoke damage. It doesn't I don't think the previous owner was a smoker though, because the ashtray is clean and it doesn't smell as bad of cigarettes in there as the headliner would make you think. Oh, this section here has some fade, including up here. And the tint, the original tint on here has been taken off of this window. So there's like a, you probably can't see it, but there's a cut line. Because the tint actually goes between, control guy here. Sorry guy. Instead of police roaming the neighborhoods, we have neighborhood patrol volunteers. It's really crazy. Okay, so this door, let me show you. I think this piece here is loose. And watch. That should have closed it, but it didn't suck it in here. Now you can't get it to suck in unless you push it in like that, I guess. And now it's working. I think the dead battery that it has right now is also maybe contributing to how difficult this is to open. I don't know. You really need two hands in order to open it when it's stuck like that. And this is, like, I've looked out over the van for, 45 minutes already and opened the door several times. It hasn't done that yet. So, let's climb in through the car. Now you'll get your first experience of how easy it is to climb from the back into the front. So, this area here, obviously very dirty. You can see the backs of the seats have dirtiness on them from something. I'm not sure what. That kind of looks like the car part oil or something. Dirt mixed with car parts. Now these seats flip up to the sides, and this one, they come in either captain's chairs version or bench seat version. This is the bench seat version. The captain's chair one was the higher end, more expensive one. Saggy curtains. These ones are better though, because you can turn them into a bed. Like all of them fold flat, and then you get a sleeping bed, which is pretty cool. Okay, so these ones here go down to completely flat. You take the headrests out to make them fit, and then that whole thing can flip up to the side and hooks on to your Holy Smokes handle. And then you get a full cargo area here without moving any of your seats up front. Very nice. Let's jump in. This is literally my first time doing this, which sometimes feels like that's never going to happen for me. I felt like I've done everything. We've probably sold a couple hundred, maybe even more of these in total now. Okay, so this curtain has the hooks, have like safety pins in them, and it looks like they were safety pinned into the ceiling or something. Don't know, but something's not working out there. The original plastic clips aren't damaged. Neither are these eyelets, so I'm not sure why they would want to do that. But that needs to be repaired. Okay. Dead battery? A dead battery shouldn't make this unopenable. Ow. Okay, well you can't open the door of this one, and that is a new issue. And we actually got it on video, so that's a little bit weird. The tint is textured. That's probably why they cut this one off. Seats here with a flip down armrest, a really tiny one. Probably need an extractor on there. Has some substance on there that needs to be clean. You get controls for the AC back here. And the AC vents are up there, and down by the feet. There are versions of this with a karaoke machine, and there are other cool things too. Do these rotate? No, but they flip around to the other side. You can see that they have these. So you can put the headrests into the bottom and then do them backwards. And actually they do rotate. Yeah, so you can point this backwards that way. I don't know what... Oh, I know. These are just for if you take the headrests off and you want to store them for like when you're sleeping. But you can rotate these seats to put them backwards if that's what you want. Quick look at the front there. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I have to climb through this. If you're going to have this with kids, this pass-through is really important. You never know when you're going to be driving and one of your kids throws up and you have to quickly get back there and clean it up. And you can't get out of the car because you're on a highway or something. Or you need to go tell your kids something important. Yeah. Okay, so let's close this up. This is going to be the end of the review. Of course, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will help you with that. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.